Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to another What I Eat in a Day video. So today's a bank holiday Monday, and believe it or not, this weekend has consisted of a lot of food prep. So this morning I got up and made myself some yogurt and fruit, which I'll insert now. With a coffee. It was delicious, and I had dragon fruit for the first time, which I've never had before, and I was underwhelmed by it. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like for me they look much nicer than they taste. They kind of taste a bit pear-like to me. There wasn't too much flavour. I got it from Marks and Spencer's, so I don't know if I was to buy it from like a farmer's market if it'd be different or something like that. But yeah, I didn't find it as flavourful as I expected. It was a pink one, so it wasn't a white one on the inside. I know you can sometimes get a pink one or a white one, but it was fine. The texture was very soft, kind of kiwi-like almost, and I enjoyed it. I had it with some yogurt and some peach and everything like that, and it was really delicious. And for lunch, I did a lot of food prep yesterday. So yesterday was a Sunday, and I got up and I roasted some vegetables and I blitzed them up with some stock and made some soup. So this basically consisted of tomato, roast peppers, I slow roasted some garlic, which was amazing, butternut squash, aubergine with some paprika and some really lovely warming autumnal spices, because even though it's a lovely day today, I feel like in the UK autumn has kind of pretty much hit us, and that was just so lovely to have. And I have a serving of that for lunch today, which I'm very excited about, so I'm going to have leftovers, so I'll take you through for that in a moment. And then for dinner tonight, the world is my oyster. I've got no idea just yet what I fancy, but I'm not too sure. The world's my oyster. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to get cracking with lunch, but before I do, outfit wise, very quickly, today I have on this cardigan, which I love. It's so autumnal, it's so lovely, and I just love it. It's from And Other Stories, and it's this lovely oatmeal knit, and I have it on with my Levi's jeans, which admittedly I need to go and get taken in. I do love them, but I need to go and get them taken in properly. Anyway, nails, this beautiful pinky colour, which I'm really enjoying wearing at the moment. Apple Watch, clover bracelet. Oh, I took it off actually because I showered last night. But yeah, this is a lovely knit, just so you can see the colourway. It's just really lovely and thick and chunky. And yeah, no makeup because I washed my hair yesterday and I've just not been bothered over the bank holiday to do my hair and makeup properly. But anyway, yeah, hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment, subscribe if you're new, and let's get on with the day. Okay, so time for lunch, and as I mentioned yesterday, I whipped up some vegetable soup. Now this has a ton of vegetables in it. You have butternut squash, aubergine, tomato, orange pepper, red pepper, roasted garlic, onions. Literally, it has an array of vegetables, and it is so delicious. It's so flavourful and the perfect transitional soup to welcome in the autumn. And what I did is I blitzed it up. Well, first I roasted it, slow roasted everything. As I mentioned, I slow roasted the garlic as well. And then I hanged a few of the actual chunks back that were from the roasting tin to kind of garnish on the top. And then I got the consistency of the soup to my liking. So I'm going to put myself a portion of that out. But to go with it, I'm also going to have, because obviously that's very, very low in calories. The only thing you really had to consider on WW is the oil that you used. Everything else, and maybe the stock actually, would be free. So I have this bread that I love. This is the red onion, rigatto and mozzarella. Now I do think this will of course have a point value, so we'll check that out in a moment, but I'm just going to portion myself off some of this, and then I'm going to pop it in the oven to warm. I don't want much, but obviously this will be quite hefty on WW, I imagine, because it has cheese on it and caramelized onion and all of that kind of thing. So I'm going to heat that up as well. This will only take a few minutes, the same amount of time as the soup will take to heat up. In a saucepan, I'm literally just going to ladle out the amount that I want and heat it very gently on the hob. so good, so flavorful. I loved every single mouthful. But anyway, I'm just about to make a cup of tea because the weather's kind of gone quite dark. We've just come in from a walk, so it is a bit chilly. So I'm going to have a cup of tea. Yesterday I whipped up a lemon drizzle cake. I told you yesterday I just went on a baking and cooking prep extravaganza because I made a chicken casserole, homemade soup and a lemon drizzle cake, and I'm really fancying a slice now. I didn't have any yesterday, although Andrew did, and we popped 4 slices over to our neighbours either side. And yeah, so I made the lemon drizzle cake and so delicious. I'm so excited to have a slice. So I've just popped the kettle on now, so I'm going to make a couple of brews for Andrew and I and get myself a slice. Oh, by the way, I didn't check the bread for WW. I will check that in a moment and let you know. When it comes to lemon drizzle cake, I have no idea how many calories are per slice because it's just like a home recipe. But if you were to just Google or type into your app lemon drizzle cake from Costa or Starbucks, I'm sure you'd be able to find something, or Sainsbury's own or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna get myself a slice and hunker down and probably read a bit of my book. Okay, so back from the supermarket because I finally decided what we're going to have for dinner, and I'm going to whip up Portuguese chicken. I'm thinking that we'll have it with coconut rice and maybe some flatbread. So I'm going to get my shopping unpackaged and then we'll get on with making that. So I have 2 types of chicken. I have skinless chicken breast, but also to add a bit of flavour I also have some chicken thighs here with the skin on. Again, skin on chicken is just elite. It just adds so much flavour and texture. The kids needed Nutella. We also needed fabric softener, so I picked up some comfort. I know this is not food related, but anyway. I got some shallots because, again, shallots roasted with peppers and Portuguese chicken, chef kiss. And because I'm lazy, the coconut rice is going to come courtesy of Tilda. So we'll look at that in regards to point value later. The first thing I'm going to do is to prepare my veg. I've taken out my stone, my stone oven tray that I'm going to bake everything in. In fact, I'm going to get the oven on. Oh, there we go. And I'm literally just I'm gonna chunky chop everything, like rough chop it, just because again it's gonna add texture, but this is more kind of to have on the side as kind of like a side dish to the chicken. So I don't mind it being quite crunchy because that will save calories on. I'll probably have less rice if I have lots of nice chunky veg tea as well. And when it comes to the shallots, I'm not going to chop them. I'm literally just going to half them down the middle and let them cook as a whole because I love how much they caramelize, because again I add a nice bit of honey to the top of this and they just caramelize and just go quite soft but quite crispy on the outside, and they are delicious. Okay, so I'm gonna take half of the garlic and the ginger that I've just prepared, and I'm going to actually use that to marinate the chicken in the first instance, and I'm going to let it sit before I put it into the tray to bake it. The seasoning that I'm using is this Portuguese peri rub, which is something you can just pick up from Sainsbury's. It's really easy to find. I just think it's easier than just creating my own spice blend, especially on days like today where I'm quite busy and I've been doing a lot of food prep, and the last thing I want to do is more food prep. So I will also add some to the baking tray as well, and I would say that constitutes about a teaspoon. And I'm also going to add some chili paste to the mix as well. I'm just going to use my little spoon for that. You don't need much of this because it is quite hot, so about half a teaspoon of that, which is more than enough. If the kids were having this chicken, I would skip on this step personally, because they don't like hot food. I mean, it doesn't add too much spice, but sometimes I actually use an actual chili. I'm also going to add some light brown soft sugar. I'm just going to sprinkling of that. I would say again, you're looking at about a teaspoon's worth of brown sugar, because we're also going to add honey, so we don't want to add too much sugar, but the honey is going to go on the top of the chicken at the end. And now I'm going to add half of what I would use of the peri rub, and then once the chicken is in its tray, I will add the other half and marinate it that way. So I'm just going to mix that all together, and I'm going to add some salt and pepper to this as well. You can already, that garlic and that chili just hits you in the face. I'm going to add some salt, also some pepper as well, and give that a mix. And I'm literally just going to plop my chicken in and let it sit for a few minutes. And now the chicken is in, I'm literally going to immerse it and just completely mix it in until every little bit is covered. Now it is going to seem like it's a really light coating, but again, we're going to add a little bit more of this spice blend on top of the chicken when it hits the baking tray. And we're going to let this sit for a good 15 minutes before we boil it. Not boil it, sorry, roast it. We're not boiling it today. Okay, the chicken is now in, and I'm going to put a very light sprinkling again of that Portuguese spice on the top. And then once that is done and I'm happy that the chicken is covered, I'm also going to add a little drizzle of honey. Now we have the brown sugar, so I'm not going to go crazy, but again, this just adds a really nice something, especially to the chicken skin. So the chicken has been in for about 30 to 35 minutes, and I'm just about to get it out, and my plan is to let it sit for about 10 minutes just to infuse again even more flavour and to cool slightly. And then all I'm going to do is pop this really shameful Tilda rice into the microwave. Honestly, I make my own rice just as much as everybody else, but sometimes stuff like this is just so handy. So I'm going to pop that into the microwave. And then also I have some flatbread. So what I'm going to go and do is grab my phone, let you know the point value for the bread that I had before, so you can kind of total up where I'm at throughout the day. Again, I can't really talk about the lemon drizzle. And then we'll also point up this rice and that piece of chicken thigh with skin on, because I'm likely to eat that because Andrew does not like chicken with skin, nor does he like it on the bone. I will have some skinless chicken breast as well, probably a couple of pieces, but yeah, those will be higher in calories than just a skinless chicken breast for sure. So before we start crunching some numbers, let me grab this chicken out. Oh my god, it smells so good and everything is just bubbling away and it smells incredible. So as you can see, those banana shallots have really caramelized with the honey and with the chili and the oil, and it just looks so delicious. This is obviously the chicken thigh, but the rest of it is skinless chicken breast, and it just looks insane. And whilst that's bubbling away nicely, just sitting chilling, we will check the point value of the bread I had this morning. Now I didn't weigh it out. Normally when I was in WW and I had bread like this, I would weigh it out to get the accurate portion size. So just bear that in mind, that you know, whatever this says, you'll have to weigh it out and track it accordingly. But just to give you a rough idea, this is 4 points a serving, which is perfectly reasonable. In fact, that would be delicious with this. I might even have a little bit more of that bread than this one here, because it'll be a similar point value, and I think that caramelized onion and parsley and mozzarella bread would be amazing with this dish. So that's what I'm going to do, although I think Andy would prefer a pita bread. And then when it comes to the Tilda rice, now I don't have much rice, I'm not going to lie. I won't even have half of this. I'm likely to only have like a few spoons of this, just because I love bread, I love the sauce, I love the veg. I don't need a ton of rice. I'm literally having it for a bit of flavour and a bit of carb, just because I can't afford to lose any more weight. But if you were to have half a pouch of this, which is the serving, you would be spending 7 points, which is perfectly typical and reasonable for rice, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna pop that in the microwave, and in the meantime, I'm gonna get out some plates so we can serve up this gorgeous Portuguese chicken. just popped that onto an oven tray and I'm going to pop that in the oven. That chicken was so crispy and juicy and delicious. I have no idea what's happening with my autofocus, guys, so sorry. But yeah, it was absolutely delish. We really enjoyed it. I had it with rice and a bit of flatbread. Actually no, I didn't have the flatbread. I had the bread that you saw from today, and it was really good. I'm not going to have some fruit tonight. I'm going to treat myself and have a little bit of chocolate. I recently picked up this from the supermarket. It is the Marks and Spencer's Caramel Shortbread and Chocolate Krispies Milk Chocolate Bar. This has gone viral. Everyone is banging on about it, and I bought it recently, and I have to say, it is really good. It's really delicious. It kind of tastes like, Andy and I have said it tastes kind of like a Toblerone, but the nougat isn't really there on this. It's shortbread, but it is really delicious. So I'm gonna have a bit of that. No idea in terms of point value. I don't know if it'll have been added to the app yet. I can have a quick look for you guys and see. But again, if I was pointing, this would be the kind of thing that I'd either use my weeklies for, or I would weigh it out and portion it accordingly. But just to check, I mean, I think it is quite a new. Yeah, 100 grams is 30 points, and this gram is a 180 gram bar, so you'd have to eat quite a lot of it to take up that point value. But it is quite a chunky chocolate, and we've just been nibbling at it for a few days. So I'm just going to have a couple of squares of that. And I am likely, actually, I might have my nightly orange. Like, I'll see how I feel later, but it's unlikely because I'm not that hungry. So yeah, I'm going to call it a day, but I hope you've all enjoyed hanging out and you've seen some nice food. Leave a comment, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next week for a brand new What I Eat in a Day, and have a fantastic week.